Good afternoon, students. My name is Samuel Chukwu Emeka. Uh, in this video, we shall continue from where we stopped. We are factoring quadratic trinomials. Please, before you continue with this video, please go back and view the first video I did on this. That is 1. So let's go ahead and finish the rest of the questions. Number 2 is you want to factorize negative 20 plus j squared plus j. Now, if you look at this question, it is not arranged in this form: ax squared plus bx plus c. Remember that this is the general form, like I said in the previous video. So let's put this to be in this form, all right? And when you do that, it will now be j squared plus j minus 20. So that's the first thing you want to do, to make sure it is in this general form. So the next thing, we now have the first step. The first step, you want to find out the first term is j squared, the second term is j, and the third term is negative 20. So first step, you want to multiply the first and third terms. So j squared times negative 20, and that gives you negative 20 j squared. So second step, now you must not write all these steps. This is the way I listed it so that you can understand it, okay, so that it will be easy to comprehend. Now, the second step, we want to now factor out factors of negative 20 j squared. All right, let's list the factors of negative 20 j squared. And let me kind of list it here so that you see it. Okay. We have let's start with 1, of course. We have a negative j and 20j. And the same way, you know, each one you have the similar one. We also have j and negative 20j. All right. Then we have a negative 2j and 10j. Then we also have 2j and negative 10j. Then 3 will not go. 4j, negative 4j and 5j. And then 4j and negative 5j. Then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 2 is the same thing, 11, 12. If you look at it, I think this is it, right? So let's find what, if we combine this, if we add it, this will give us 19j. If we add this, it will give us 8j. This will give us j. This will give us negative 19j. This will give us negative 8j. And this will give us negative j. Right? So we look at which one gives us the second term. You know, we look at the one that gives us the second term. And the second term is j. So we see that it is these two factors that gives us the second term, j. So we now have the third step. Now in my other questions, I will not write first step, second step, because I expect you to be familiar with it, right? So we now replace this. We had j squared plus j minus 20. We now replace this j with, we replace this j with these two factors, negative 4j plus 5j minus 20. You write it as is. Don't write your own, don't put your own signs. Just write as is, negative 4j. Then, of course, if you don't see a sign before a variable or a number, it means a positive sign. So plus 5j, right? So the next thing you want to do is to factor. You factor, and that's the fourth step. The last step, you want to factor. Now, let's go ahead and factor this. If we have j squared minus 4j, and then we also have 5j minus 20, we factor in 2's. So, j is common, and this will give us, well, if j is common, if you do j squared divided by j, it gives you j. Then if you do negative 4j divided by j, it gives you negative 4. Look at what I just did. You have that j is common, right? You now do j squared divided by j, that gives you j, and that is this j. Then you have negative 4j divided by j, that gives you negative 4, and that's negative 4. The same thing here. In this case, what is common here? 5. 5 is common. You bring out 5. Then you have 5j divided by 5. It gives you j. You put a parenthesis j. Then you have negative 20 divided by 5. Gives you negative 4. Negative 4. I'll skip some of these steps in the other questions that I'll do, because I expect you to become familiar with it. Yeah, and I also want to save some time on the video so that it doesn't, so that it won't be so long. All right. So once this is equal to this, that is when you can dance. You know, when this is equal to this, then you can now dance. You can now smile, and then we now see that our j squared minus 4j plus 5j minus 20 will be equal to j into j minus 4 plus 5 into j minus 4. And because this is equal to this, we can bring it out, and this is now j minus 4 and j plus 5 if we factor out. And that gives us our answer. Yeah. We factored it out. So the next thing we have to do is to check. First of all, we factor, and then we check our work to see whether we are correct. And when we check, it should give us back the original thing. So let's check this. If we check it, we just multiply j minus 4 times j plus 5. Now this is j times j times 5. You can use FOIL method if you want to. That's fine. J times 5, negative 4 times j, and negative 4 times 5. So this is j squared, 5j, negative 4j, and negative 20. So when we combine it as is, we write as is. This will be j squared plus 5j minus 4j minus 20. And that will be j squared plus j minus 20. And it gives us back that. It gives us back the original question, j squared plus j minus 20. All right, I hope you understood it. Okay, let's do number 3 the same way. Same way we do number 3. So number 3, by now you can pause the video and work it out on your own, and you can continue. Now this is already in this form, so I'm good. So the next thing, I will skip some of the steps. I want you to just memorize it now. P squared, to become familiar with it, p squared times 12 is 12p squared. Then I look for factors of 12p squared. I have p and 12p. Probably we'll use and, like, okay, p and 12p. And then I have negative p and negative 12p. Now, I want you to notice something here. When you have the product to be negative, you know, the factors could be negative and positive, or positive and negative. You know, positive times negative is negative, or negative times positive is negative. But when you have it to be positive, then it could be positive and positive, or negative and negative. Because positive and positive is positive, negative times negative is positive. So you have to consider all the factors that you can have. You have to consider all of them. Because if you just consider only one-sided, then you might not get the second term. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. You have to consider all the factors and all the signs that go along with it. So the next thing, we have 2p and 6p. Then we have negative 2p and negative 6p. Then we have 3p and 4p. Then we have negative 3p and negative 4p. The next thing, we have another one, 6 and 2. Okay, this is it. So this will give us 13p. Let me just draw a line here. This will give us 13p. This will give us 8p. This will give us 7p. This will give us negative 13p. This will give us negative 8p. And this will give us negative 7p. So we look for the one that is the second term. So when we look for the one that is second term, the second term is 11p. We don't have this at the second term. So because we don't have it, we just say that we cannot factorize this. We cannot use the factorization method to do this. We cannot. So we just say that the equation, the trinomial p squared plus 11p plus 12 is prime. We just say that it's prime. Because we don't have anything here that is the second term. You know, the second term is 11p, so we don't have that.